Yes, yeah. It's another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Appreciate y'all downloading, subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Yo, man, let me remind folk, if you go to Podchaser and search DJ Klyph, man, everything that's under DJ Klyph Productions in terms of podcasts is there. So check it out, an opportunity to rate and comment, and those things go a long way in helping to promote what we're doing, spread the word, you know what I mean? If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, for sure, give me that 5-star rating and leave a comment, man. Let people know that you dig the Klyph Notes podcast. And then also, if you're looking for ways to support what we're doing, you can check out the Patreon /DJ Klyph. It's patreon.com/DJ Klyph. And yeah, man, an opportunity to just support the movement. Be working on giving some people some tangible shows of my appreciation for your support. So you can check that out. And of course, djklyph.com. But yo, enough of that, man. Let's talk about this next episode. This one is cool. Had a chance to chop it up with the homie. Dope DJ. Great ear for music. And then just a really valuable part of the Portland Black community. He's heading things up over at the Numberz FM in Portland, the Numberz with a Z. You know, I do mixes for the Numberz, the rhythm. Check him out every weekday at 3 p.m. But this dude, man, he's an amazing man with a great heart and a great passion for providing platforms for artists, aside from being a dope DJ. So yo, man, check out this latest episode of the Klyph Notes podcast with the homie, DJ Ambush. Yeah, let's get it. Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Akepele Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip-hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, they've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Akepele, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out akepele.com. That's AKEPELE.com. Yes, yeah. Welcome back to the Klyph Notes podcast. Available everywhere you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Audible. Like, we everywhere, for real. So I know, like, I constantly say it, like, this is a good one, but it's true. It's like I just had the opportunity to connect with all of these cool people. And this one's been a long time. I say that a lot too. This one's been a long time coming because we've been talking about it. It's just that I think to a certain degree, COVID creates opportunities to connect with people in a whole different way. And so we finally making this one happen. You know what I'm saying? So, without any further ado, let them know who you are, homie.
What's going on, good people? This is DJ Ambush. What's going on, Klyph, man?
How you doing, B?
Good, man. You're right, though. COVID has definitely created an opportunity to, make us slow things down and get the things we've always wanted to get done. Because we've been talking about this for a minute.
Yep.
I've been waiting to get on here.
Look at you. No, it's funny. Like, I've been saying that a lot, like on the podcast or on radio show interviews. Like, I've actually had more conversations with people here in the city since COVID than I had. I mean, like, you see people out at events, and so then that's kind of your check-in. You know, you hit somebody on the text with, like, for something, but, like, I've been doing more Zoom and Google and FaceTime situations, like, just on some just checking in kind of situation.
Yeah. So yeah,
I guess that's the good thing of COVID. Yeah, bro. Yeah. So
better get used to it.
Right. But but that's the other thing I've been telling people, like, if and when things open up again and we can start getting out and doing things, like, I think for me, this will always still be a thing. Like, I think I'll just incorporate it to everything else that I've been doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a smart way to look at it. Like we were talking before the cast started, just as far as, as DJs, we're constantly looking for different ways to innovate the things that we're doing. And right now, innovation is the key for everyone. We have to search for new pathways to get the things that we want to get done. in all industries. And from a creative standpoint, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, we feed off each other's energy, and we're used to being around each other at venues and co-work spaces and things like that. So developing different ways to still bounce that energy off each other and still put out, you know, content is going to be essential. It's going to be essential because people want it. You know, we're lucky in the way that we have a huge captive audience right now.
Yep.
Like a homie of mine, Corey Towns, actually, he was talking about when he first started DJing on Twitch, and that some of his homies were like, you know, it's not really anybody on there, and you know, like it's only like 30 people, 40 people, 50 people. But he was like, look at this though. This is 50 people that are located across the entire planet.
Right.
This isn't me spinning at a corner spot with those 50 people from the hood there.
Right.
You know, so if I'm developing a global community right now, I don't care if it's just 50 people. Let those same 50 people come check me out every single week and watch that just grow, you know, as opposed to being in a room, you know, at your local spot, spinning for 200 people from the city. Like, that's cool, but we're not getting back to that anytime soon. So
100%, bro, 100%. And it is cool to see people taking advantage of it, and like you're saying, the creative ways that people are taking advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'd be feeling the pressure. I'd be like, oh, I gotta go get lights. I gotta get the green screen. I'm like, nah, bro.
Yo, Klyph, like, yo, I swear we the same person. I haven't done one yet.
Oh, word.
I haven't done a live stream yet because when everything first hit, the first thing came to my mind, I was like, okay, so I need an A10 mini. I need a green screen. I need my lights. I need my camera. So I went ham. I bought cameras, bought lights. A friend of mine wasn't using an A10 mini.
Oh, word.
You know, so I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to get it right, and never got it to where I was like, all right, this is the look, this is the feel, I'm ready to go.
Right.
What ended up happening, my daughters got booked for a gig, and me running camera and sound for them was a dry run. And we used OBS, and we ran it through Mixcloud, a little bit on Instagram, but we ran it through Mixcloud because, you know, over there they're paying everyone. Right. They're paying all the you know, artists, and everything was straight. And I'm like, all right, you know, I might just be overthinking it. So then, which is true, I was. So then, with everything else going on, just my other responsibilities, the passion had kind of decreased because I was just busy, you know, doing other things. And then now we're at that point where things are starting to, I don't know if it's a cycle, I don't know what's happening, you know, the stars aligning, but I'm back in that place now where, like, okay, I'm hungry to do some mixes now. And I'm hungry to just turn the camera on and just spin. Yeah. And just spin, you know, what I love. Yeah. Like the very first time I did that was about 5-6 years ago when I was still on the East Coast. And a couple of homies of mine, we do a Valentine's Day mix every year. So it was maybe like 11 o'clock at night, Facebook Live. This is before they were policing all crazy. Okay. I just cut the camera on Facebook Live on another I think I had like an iPad to the side, cut off all the lights in the room and just used the lights from my DJ controller and just spun. Spun for like an hour and a half. And the comments and the views, like, it was crazy. It was just dope. I didn't announce it or nothing. People just popped up and was like, oh, that's my jam. And it was great. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. Like, I really look forward to doing something like that in the near future. Just got to take all the all the apprehension and competition out of it. Like, because at the end of the day, I'm happy that I waited. Yeah. Because everything that could have happened has happened. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? People have done everything. Like, I'm not going to have any projections, or it's going to be me playing some records you probably haven't heard in a while. Yes, period. Yes, exactly. I'm going to show my age. That's what I'm going to do.
And that's the thing, bro. Like, that's one of the things that I have found, like, on this journey for me, you know what I'm saying, is it's easy to get caught up in, oh, this is the thing that you need to do, or this is how you're supposed to do it. And I realized at the end of the day, man, like, I'm really good at what I do, which is not what the next man does. And when I try to do the next man, So I'm learning to just stay in my lane, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It.
And that's where you excel. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, that's one of the best things about your mixes. Like, you're so in pocket that I get surprised. Not surprised by the songs, but it's a pleasant surprise in a way that, oh, I've never heard this version of this song before. Like, you go deep, like you don't care. Like, it is great. Like, it's so fulfilling. Like, and then all that does is make me want to go look for another version. I remember I definitely hit you. It was like a Fuji's remix. It might have been a Salam Remy joint. And I heard that joint come through the radio. I said, wait, what? Ooh, this is Klyph? I hit you immediately, yes. Sir. Excuse me. What is happening here? Like, that's what it's about.
Yes, it is.
That's what it's about, man.
Yes,
I'm not watching these DJs hop online and spend like, they spend a Saturday night at the club. Like, I feel you in the way that you need to get that out. But the energy you're looking to get back, you're not going to get that. So you're better off spinning a set that's going to be way more fulfilling to you personally, playing the jams you want to play across all the genres or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. I will definitely start my joint off with some Hall Notes.
Right.
And end up in some MF Doom. They don't understand. Like, it's just take it right back to Swift Lounge, dog. I definitely used to be in there just geeking out.
Well, yo, let's let folk know, bro. Because I mean, a lot of people know who you are. A lot of people know your story, but a lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's interesting because one of the reasons I love doing Klyph Notes is it gives me that's actually where it came from, but it gives me an opportunity to hear people's stories aside from allowing them to share their stories. So like, I know you, but like, there's a whole lot that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, Facts. You here in Portland, you're doing a lot of stuff in Portland. I want to talk about the many things that you're doing here, but you're not from Portland. People can tell from the dialect that you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not Northwest raised, B. So like, where did it start with you, man?
Northeast raised.
Yes.
Actually born in DC, but I was raised right outside of Philadelphia. So I'm a Philly kid for the most part.
Right.
Been DJing for 27 years. Of course, we talking vinyl. Yeah. Self-taught. I bought the very first actual record that I purchased to DJ with was Souls of Mischief 92 to Infinity, the single.
Wow.
That was the first record I bought as a DJ. Before that, I was doing pause tapes and DJing parties with pause tapes.
Oh, word.
So I would go to the mall, buy albums, full cassette albums, full cassette singles, go home, record stuff off the radio, and make little pause tapes and do like, maybe like 4 60-minute tapes.
Oh, snap.
And then show up to a party. Like, they would wait for me to show up to the party, pop them joints in.
Yeah.
And what's really dope about like that period for me, like when I think back about it, like you had to be very intentional about the order of the songs because you weren't mixing live. You couldn't change it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if the next song you put on is whack, we just gotta wait it out. If you clear the dance floor, you clear the dance floor, man. Right. So I initially started DJing parties like that with pause tapes. Then I was working this fast food job, and one of the other employees had like a DJ. He had a DJ set that he was getting rid of. 2 Gemini belt drive turntables.
Wow.
And a Gemini mixer. And I didn't know the difference between belt drive and direct drive.
Right.
So I get the stuff home, I'm getting records. I'm grabbing my parents' records. I'm trying to cut. You can't cut no belt drive. The needles are trash. Like, everything is just going badly. Everything's going badly. So because like I was self-taught, I knew there were things that were important to me. Being able to cut, scratch, but most importantly, being able to blend. Like, if the blend game's not on, then what are we even doing? Grew up listening to Ron G tapes. My like favorite DJ as I was growing up, and like I would honestly say like is like the reason I DJ be Tony Touch.
Oh, word.
And right under Tony would be Jeff, and then Rich Medina, and then like other people that I grew up around. Like listening to Tony Touch mixtapes was just like, this is everything that I love. He's killing it with all this crazy underground hip hop.
Right.
The skills are immaculate. He's just going through different genres of music. Everything just sounds seamless. And I was like, that's the type of DJ I want to be.
Yeah.
So then I just focused on blending, and with belt drive turntables, that's all you really can do. Mm-hmm. So my blend game just got really, really crazy, really crazy. Eventually moved up, got some Tech 12s, and started gigging in Philly because, like I said, I was in Chester, so that's a Philadelphia suburb. Started DJing in Philly proper at some B-boy events with DJ Scheme Richards. He was the first DJ I did a gig with, and then he hooked me up with this monthly event called The Gathering in Philly. And The Gathering is the last Thursday of every month. It's the longest running hip hop event in Philly history. Like, it's still running.
Oh, word.
And it's this big room at I think it's University of Penn or Drexel. I can't remember. I always get it mixed up. Mm-hmm. But this big wide open room. There's a stage. On the stage, 2 DJ setups opposite of each other. In the middle is space for the MC cypher and whoever's going to perform that night. And then in front of the stage on the floor, it's like at least a good 3 or 4 different B-boy circles.
Oh, nice.
And then on the walls, they put up paper for graph heads to go crazy with markers and just tag it up. And this was like a free event for I think now they charge maybe like $2 or $3 for it.
Yeah.
So I started spending that monthly and just really, getting my my B-boy chops up under me as far as, the type of stuff that they dance to, and just really just widening my whole relationship with the DJ community and the hip hop community in Philly.
Yeah.
And eventually that led to me, being in groups, DJing for groups, managing artists, doing consulting. Then you start throwing events and putting together tours and just brand sponsorships, and just, the things pile on. We wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
We wear a lot of hats as DJs, especially in that specific time period when there weren't a lot of things we could go to school for to teach us the things we were doing.
Right.
Now it's a little bit different.
Right.
Back then, if you were in the music industry, your major was communications.
Yep.
It was communications.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
But now there's specific courses to help plot out your careers and whatnot. So, it's been a very, very fulfilling and interesting journey, this DJ life. And if you would have asked me if I would have ended up in radio, I'd have said nah, because my relationship with radio up until this point was, you're being programmed.
Yeah.
You don't really get the freedom to play what you want to play, and left up to me, I'm not choosing radio to listen to music. I don't want to hear the same, 15, 20 songs all day long. So, but, to move to Portland and have the ability to work with a community radio station and then help develop content for the Numberz was amazing, because now it's like, there's no one telling us what to do. We can play whatever we want, whenever we want. Yep. And the reaction and results that we've been getting from everyone, it's been amazing. Yeah. It's been great. Yeah. It's been really, really great.
It's funny because I started off as an MC, right? And so, I came up in the Northeast. I came up in Jersey.
Okay.
And so that's why I kind of have that ear to that Northeast sound, right?
Nice.
And so, but when I was coming up, I always understood the value of a DJ, but I didn't have no money, and my family wasn't about like, oh yeah, you want to get into hip hop. So it was really easy to be an MC, because I could rhyme, I could do ciphers at school, whatever.
Right.
And I had a friend who was a DJ, and so I would go to his spot and just watch him cut and watch him do his thing. And then coming up, I would get access to stuff through radio. Right. So I would late nights listening to WBLS, listening to Mr. Magic, like listening to, you know what I'm saying? Listening to that. And you hear this music, especially at that time where hip hop wasn't even on mainstream commercial radio. Like, that's the only time you could really hear it on the radio.
Yep.
And so I remember when I first started doing, when I first got on the air, it was through community radio. And I would tell people, we're on a low power signal, this, that, and the third. And, people be like, oh, you're not on a commercial radio station. Oh, your signal's not that strong. Is that and the third?
Right.
But the thing that I always appreciated was but nobody, like, they just say, make sure there's no explicit content and do you. Man. And that's the thing that I love about what we have the opportunity to do with community radio is, like you're saying, man, we can really truly curate music that we believe in, music that we feel like people, like, y'all ain't hearing this. You need to hear this.
Y'all need to hear it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's such a man, it's just such a joy to be able to do what we do. So came up here to the Northwest, and then like you was still gigging though. You was still, like, you wasn't only doing radio.
So that's the crazy part. So when I left, it was at the height of an event that I was throwing. It was beat battle called Behind the Breaks. Okay. And so so the first event I did out here was part of this Doom tribute tour we call Doom Extravaganza.
Okay.
Doom. So we did Doom Extravaganza for like 3 years. The first year we did it in Philly. Second year we did Philly again. Third year we did Philly, New York, and Portland. Okay. And we did it was at Ash Street.
Okay, yeah.
Saloon. Yeah.
Yep.
They closed. So we were at Ash Street. We did it there. It was dope. The local support was great. People, like, somebody came over from Voodoo Donuts and gave us a bunch of donuts. Like, it was dope. It was dope. Shout out to Kenneth Masters. He performed that night.
Word.
Another Philly dude out here loving it. And then I brought out MC Ethel C. She came out with us, and visual artist Mars 5. Okay. So, like, every location we went to, Mars would create a different piece. He would paint a piece that went with that event. So that was like the first event that I did out here. Yeah. So when I moved, like, I already realized at this point, just from visiting and the time I spent out here, I realized, like, how engaged the artist community is out here. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I can do Behind the Breaks on the East Coast and come out to the West Coast and do it out here in Portland. But, you know, just making that transition, don't nobody know who you are. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's a period of rebranding that has to take place. Right. So I came through, humbled myself, grabbed the Mercury, grabbed the Willamette, started looking at the different clubs, see who's playing what music on what nights. I jumped in the DMs on Facebook, Instagram, email. I'm hitting everyone with my resume, hitting them with mixes, waiting to get, you know, responses. And it was like a brick wall for a minute. And then I got a hit back from DJ 6040. And he was handling the DJ schedule at Swift Lounge. So he, I think he pulled me in like on a Wednesday night and was like, you do your thing. We don't do like house music or anything, but, like, you know, you can pretty much play what you want. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool, bet. Crushed it. Like, don't give me no opportunity, fam. Right. I was hungry. Crushed it, ran through it. And I think I was on Wednesdays for maybe like a couple of months. Because it was just a monthly gig. Yeah. So I was on Wednesday for a couple of months, and he was like, man, we need you on the weekends. We need you on Friday or Saturday. And then they moved me to Fridays. Yeah. And Swift became, you know, it was my DJ home for a minute. Yeah. And then from there, between 6040 and other people that would see me spin there, the other doors just started opening. So then I was at Mad Sons. I was at Vault. I did the sound installation and DJ schedule over at Mango Lounge. Like, it was to the point where I was spending at least a good 5-6 spots a month. Wow. Just going. Yeah. And what ended up happening was, as great as it was to get my name out and have people start appreciating what I could bring to the table, it started becoming a little monotonous, especially with some of the spots that are downtown where people are coming to hear that top 40. Right. And they're not coming to hear it any other way than what they're used to. And I have a strained relationship with short edits. I'm going to just put it out there. I like the way you said that, though. A strained relationship. Like, nothing against DJs that do it. Right. But I grew up in the era where the third verse matters. Yes. I grew up in the era where, you know, some of those features matter. Yes. just the breakdown at the end of the song gives me a particular type of transition. And I want to be able to, like, if I want to cut a song short, I have the ability to.
Right. That's
fine if I want to jump out of it. But to spend a whole set, like hours back to back of first verse hook into the next song, I'm not spending 600 songs a night. I have no interest in that. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In
addition to that, where is the nuance in your set when everyone's spinning the same short edits?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know. Yeah. So like that started happening, and I was still getting opportunities like corporate gigs and things like that, different doors opening up. And a local promoter that was working with the Numberz at the time reached out to me to help with putting together some playlists. And then that's how it started. I was working on the community playlist. For those that don't know, the community playlist, basically we reach out to members of the community, whether they're, you know, tastemakers, influencers, local politicians, small business owners, community activists, and we ask them what are 15 to 18 songs that move you.
Yeah.
And then we get an audio drop from them, and then we create an hour mix. So I started doing that for the station at first. And at the time, we had you were on the station, OG1, Also Fresh. I forgot who else. I don't think George was there yet. He may have been. Juggernaut. So we were a couple people, you know, straight doing the DJ mixes. So we were killing it. And the station was live. And I was focused primarily on the community playlist. And the more and more I listened to the station and the more and more I got involved, I just really started to understand the value of Black radio in a city that hasn't had Black radio. Like, Black radio, I take for granted. Like, come on. East Coast, there's a Black radio station on every block. Like, everyone's got their internet radio station.
Right.
And this was just like, wait, what? Y'all, you know, so prior to this, there were just carved out hours on certain stations that, you know, so I saw the opportunity there. I'm like, this is going to be amazing, especially when I started like playing around, like, all right, let me put a little J Electronica at 4 p.m. and see what happens.
Right.
And we get a tweet, and people are like, yo, they playing Exhibit C. I was like, oh, snap. This is about to be live. We're going to cut up. So that's what happened, you know, to be able to have a station playing Anita Baker one moment and Slum Village the next. Like, Klyph, can't nobody mess with that.
Yeah.
Can't nobody mess with that.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Like, seriously.
And that's one of the cool things is that I think things that we started hearing when the station first started broadcasting was, yo, like this is, I haven't heard stuff like this since I lived, you know, elsewhere, or you know, I used to be overseas and I would get on the internet to listen to whatever station, and this station is right here in Portland now, and there has been an audience for something like the Numberz, and now, you know, we have an opportunity to serve those people, which is, and like you said, in a city where, like, this is like, for the fact that this is coming out of Portland, Oregon.
Yeah,
I don't know if people can really understand the significance of that.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
It'll take people a while to understand the significance of that.
Yes,
like they really gonna have to experience Portland, and then it's what. And like you said, there are people saying, I haven't heard music like this. I haven't heard this type of programming since I used to live somewhere else. And now we're getting people that live other places that are tuning into the Numberz, streaming, and they're like, yo, oh no, this is it. Yeah. This is it. Yeah. So I know we're doing something right.
No doubt.
I know it.
So now you've transitioned from doing community playlists. You have a different role now with the Numberz.
That is correct. I am the operations and content manager at the Numberz, basically the GM over there now. I think it happened organically. I just kept seeing opportunities and places for me to pitch in and help. And, you know, I'm no stranger to getting my hands dirty and getting that work done. So I just wanted to keep pushing and pushing and pushing to get us to a place where we could provide a great variety of music that services the entire community and tells the entire Black music experience. Yeah. So it's not just hip hop and R&B. Right. You're going to hear some dance hall. You're going to hear some reggae. You're going to hear some moombahton. You're going to hear some Afro beats, some high life. Like, you're going to hear it all because it's all of our music. Shout out to one of our listeners, Azalee. She reached out and was like, can we start hearing some Black rock musicians? And we had a brother that's actually working on a playlist to do that. And then she reached back out to us and was like, would you be interested in even interviewing some Black rock musicians? I was like, yeah, sure. But at the time, I'm just like, I don't have the bandwidth.
Right.
I don't,
right.
If that's something you want to hop on, cool. Mm-hmm. She got us an interview with Corey Glover from Living Color.
Word.
Yeah. She got that in place. We reached out to Cervante Pope. Shout out to that sister.
Yeah, that's the
she handled the interview, and we broadcasted some of it a couple of months ago.
That's crazy.
Like, that's community radio. That's the community being actively involved and being able to participate in the programming, and just we love all the feedback, man. We love the feedback. That's any opportunity we can have to give them exactly what they're asking for, especially now that they know like it's a full buffet. Mm-hmm. Is they're not just hitting us up to I need that new Young Thug, I need that new Wayne, I need that new J. Cole. It's like, yo, do y'all have? That's how they're coming at us now. Like, right. Do y'all have? Would you happen to have the remix? Yep, got you.
Yep,
throwing it in.
Yep,
throwing it in. Yeah. So like, I would definitely like to take an opportunity to shout out our music coordinator, Britton Jackson. That brother has been amazing, invaluable to how we sound right now. And then also our talk content coordinator, Can Jones, handling all the talk shows and then just really helping us out on the video and live stream stuff that we got going on too.
Word. So I want to talk a little bit more about that because the Numberz really started out like as you mentioned where we were submitting a lot of mixes, but it has grown, and there is talk content, there is video content, there are things that are bubbling. What are some of those specific things that people should be checking for?
So definitely, I would suggest people follow us on Twitch. We are definitely ramping up our live stream performance schedule. COVID did knock us off track a little bit. By this point, we'd have had about a good 6 or 7 performances.
Word.
We've done 3, I believe, so far. We've had Marquis, Kunu, and DJ Deli. All performances from the Portland Art Museum.
Word.
Live stream. So between that and some of the talk shows, we also want to move that into some of the live stream content too. It's been great to just develop and grow and pick up little pieces of equipment here and there, and have volunteers come in to help us figure out how to move into this new media space. Because as it is right now, sure, we started out as Black radio, but my intention for the Numberz is just to be Black media, period. So, we have a news program. Ken and I do Run Up the Numbers every Monday. It's a half-an-hour news show that broadcasts 3 times on the Numberz and 1 time on X-Ray every Monday morning.
Right.
And then we, like I said, the talk shows, the idea with that is to reach out to members of the community, content creators that may not have the means to do it, but have the skills, or at least want to develop those skills.
Yeah.
So if we can train you how to edit your audio, if we can train you how to set up your mics and record and be able to provide the equipment in order for you to produce these shows and help you produce these shows, that's the point. We want to be able to erase barriers so our people their voices can just be elevated. So that's the game plan. We got some other things around the corner too. I'm trying to see how we're going to navigate them with COVID, but definitely some more youth-centered talk content. We have 2 young brothers that reached out to us that want to do a show about politics.
Oh,
specifically. Word. Yeah, and how it impacts their communities. These brothers are in their early 20s. Yeah. And they want to have these conversations with other members in their age bracket. So yeah, man. At this time, it's like there aren't enough hours in the day, but
I know what you mean, brother. I know what you mean.
Yeah, man.
But so I don't want to gloss over it too quickly though. So you said something in there that I want people to really hear and understand. You folk are currently, the home is the Portland Art Museum.
Yeah,
bro.
Man.
Like that's so again. Not to belabor the point, but I think people I hope people can understand, even if you're listening to this and you've never even been to Portland before, but you've had an opportunity to see what the media has shown of Portland. And let me just say everything, like Marvin Gaye said, right? Believe half of what you see, none of what you hear, right? So understand that, but also understand that there is a history in Portland, Oregon. The fact that you have an upstart new Black radio station that is connected to the Portland Art Museum in a real way, not on some like, oh yeah, we'll throw you a bone, but like has a real relationship. Like that's heavy, bro. That's heavy.
I say it all the time when I have these conversations with people that have watched us grow. Like, this is not something I could have put on the 2 to 5 year plan. This is not something I could have even imagined was a possibility. But I'll say this. It's very important that, and this is something I've said to artists, other creatives, make sure that you're doing it do it every single time like you're doing it for TV. I tell people it doesn't matter if it's your 14th show, your 1400th show, you need to perform and show up like this is the last chance to give your very, very best show ever. Like, always show up ready to just go, because what ends up happening is there are people that are observing you, right, and you don't realize it. My first brand endorsement was with Skull Candy, and that happened as a result of me DJing in the Puma store in DC. So I ended up, Scheme was going on tour to Japan, and he needed me to cover for him for the Puma store in Philly. Okay. So he told the manager, Eric, he was like, yeah, I got Ambush coming down. He's going to spin a set, Eric was like, well, have him send some mixtapes first. Because it's Philly. Like, yeah, bedroom DJ and me at my job. Right. Have him send some. So I sent the mixtapes. He was like, all right, cool. This works. And back then, Klyph, I had I set this really, really crazy goal for myself to do 12 mixtapes a month.
Okay. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. And what I was trying to prove was, because I was really like discouraged and looking at other DJs like, why are y'all playing the same records? Do you understand how much music comes out every single month? Right. So the 12 mixtapes were across underground, R&B, dance hall. Like, it was across multiple genres of music and different vibes. Yeah. So I gave him 4 mixtapes. Went down to the store. This is my first retail gig. Yeah. I walk into Puma wearing New Balances like a weirdo. Right. You here in Portland, y'all know better. Don't go open the employee store being weird. No one's gonna kick you out, but just don't be weird, bro. Right. So I walked up in Puma rocking New Balances, and the manager was like, Eric was like, yes, you gotta pick out something now, because what we're not going to do is what you're doing right now. Right. So half an hour into my set, he was like, oh no, we need you in the store. So then I ended up developing a relationship in DC when I went down there to visit some family and stay down there for a minute. And I was walking the Puma store down there trying to figure out, I wonder if I could, get a gig up in here. Right. And the manager from that Puma store knew Eric from Philly and was like, oh, Ambush. Yeah, we want you here. I was like, oh, bet. So again, your reputation just preceding you. So here it is. I'm in the DC Puma store, and people are just shopping, pretty posh. And a dude just walks up, and he was like, he gives me his card, and he was the head of marketing for Skull Candy. And he was like, yeah, I really love what you're doing. I'd like for us to get involved and be able to support you however. And then boom, I had a Skull Candy endorsement. Wow. So I'm getting all the headphones. I'm doing events. They're sending the banners. and got stuff for giveaways. It was great. I just didn't know how to properly document everything. Yeah. To give them, feedback. They were just throwing merch and content. Merch at me. Yeah. And I didn't know exactly how to package it and give it back to them, with the photos and creating the decks and all of that at the time. Right. But just you never know who was in the room. There's no way for you to know who's in the room. Right. So with the museum situation, we had an existing relationship with them that came out of just the programming. Someone one of the museum staff learned about our station through Instagram, started tuning in, and then the museum staff just started to just like in the office here, they just started listening to the numbers. So then shout out to Ella. She reached out to us and was like, yo, we had this Hank Willis Thomas exhibit coming up. I think it'd be great to do a community playlist with him and have him come do an interview. And, you know, maybe even you guys come to the museum and do a live event.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. We had Hank Willis Thomas come down to the production studio. We interviewed him. We knocked out a community playlist, like 2, actually. He had so much great music and like speeches and stuff that he wanted on his mix.
Yeah.
And then we came to the Portland Art Museum. We did a 2-hour live broadcast, which included me spinning. Kayla J was hosting along with Kira. We had some community playlist stations, and we were interviewing people right there on the spot about the exhibit.
Yeah.
Like it was like a full situation. It was really, really dope. And from that, we ended up doing a couple more workshops, and the relationship just kept developing and developing to the point where they were just like, hey, you know, if you guys want to be here a little bit more often, a little bit more frequently, let's talk about, you know, doing a residency. Let's talk about some of the different ways that we can roll out some of the projects that we've been talking about doing together for a while now.
Yeah.
And we had the opportunity to set up in the main building on the 4th floor for about a month and some change, surrounded by all that art, and have some, you know, creatives come through and perform and conduct interviews. It was wide open space, so you know, airflow wasn't that much of an issue.
Yeah,
it was just amazing. It was just absolutely amazing. So now that's developed into us being in the Contemporary Arts Building on the 4th floor, the Mark Building, as our little home right now. That's where Numberz is based. So it's amazing in the way that we have 2 performance spaces now. We have a stage within our office space. And then we also are working with the Dots project right now. So we're able to book performances outside in the courtyard as well.
That's so dope.
And this is an opportunity for anybody listening to understand our point is always to try to support artists and support local creatives. So these are paid gigs. Absolutely. Wow. So
wow.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It really is. It really is.
And if people, you know, people consider the fact that the Numberz is really still in its infancy as a radio station, and the opportunities that have been presented and the way that the Numberz is taking advantage of these opportunities, but yet has done it in a way that is still true to, you know, why one of the reasons that the Numberz was created.
Absolutely
is huge, man. You know what I'm saying? No shortcuts, no, you know, not
no one trying to change what we do and adjust our mission. No, they love us exactly for what we're doing. And all the community partners that we have right now are organizations that understand the importance of elevating Black voices. And they've come to us with that mission. They've come to us to assist us with that. We haven't actively gone out and sought any community partners or advertisers yet. Everyone that has been supporting us been like, hey, we love what you're doing. We want to get involved. And that's commendable, man. That's amazing. It really is.
That's what's up, man. So if people are hearing this and they're like, yo, I didn't realize that like that the Numberz was like a media conglomerate essentially. And how do I get involved? You know what I'm saying? How can I get involved as a creator? How can I get involved as a contributor or a supporter? Like how do people do that?
The best way to do that would be to email info@thenumberz. So it's TheNumberz.fm. The Numberz with the Z.fm. Email info@thenumberz.fm. Let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what you'd like to do, how you'd like to get involved. There have been many people that just reached out and like, we want to donate. We want to become monthly members. I have an idea for content. We're open to all of that. This is community radio. This is your station. The station belongs to you.
Right.
So it's not a point where like we had a brother reach out to us, a couple brothers reach out to us last week to find out how much it would cost to have their show air on our station. And I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing here.
Right.
These are Black voices. This is Black radio.
Right.
Send the content. Let's see how we can fit it, you know, based on the length of your show and, you know, FCC compliance, and let's get it on the air.
Yeah.
That's it. Not no payola here.
Right?
No payola. I actually had a local artist ask me that too. Like, how much is it gonna cost? It's like, I mean, we don't do that.
Right.
We don't do that. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it's not good, we'll still put it in the pool for other DJs to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe someone could find a place for it to work. Because I'm not going to use my personal taste to determine whether your newest, hottest radio single is going to make it. You know what I'm saying? That's not my job. That's not my job.
Well, but good, bro. Good for you for having that ear, man. Because sometimes that's like in my journey, especially with Welcome to the Neighborhood that I do at X-Ray. Like the goal of that radio show was to support the local scene. And I had to learn how to, and I'm not always successful at it, but I did have to learn how to separate my tastes and my preferences from that mission. So like sometimes it's like, no, I'm gonna play this because you're a local artist, and I remember what it was like to be an artist and just trying to get it. Like I just give me a shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So good for you for surrounding yourself with people who can say, no, we should, that should be on the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There have been a couple times when I forwarded music to Britton, and I'm like, I'm not listening. Like, I will see the title. I'm like, I'm not even listening to this song. I'm sending it to you, and you let me know. And he'll come back like, you should listen to it. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Right.
He's like, you should listen to it. I'm like, all right, we can find a place for it.
Yeah.
I need that off my plate.
So a lot of stuff that you're doing right now, obviously, if people hear this, they realize how much the Numberz as a radio station, and not just as a radio station, how the Numberz is taking up a lot of your time and energy. But one of the questions that I've been asking folk when I've had an opportunity to interview artists this year specifically is, how do you manage, and you talked a little bit about it, but how do you manage not being able to go out and gig, even with the time that you have? Because there is that feedback that you get from doing what you love, from sharing your own art, and DJing is an art. Like, how do you, like, in terms of like mental health, how you doing with that?
I think so as a DJ, you're expending energy. You are processing music, processing sound, processing energy from the room that you're DJing in, and you are returning that to the audience. There's definitely something missing in that energy exchange when you don't get to be in a room full of people. I found that I got to find, even prior to the shutdown, I found that it was important that we identify ways that we pour creativity back into ourselves as much as we put it out there. You got to find ways to feed yourself emotionally and creatively. So whether, for me, that's comic books, movies, a lot of sci-fi stuff, and cooking, honestly.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Like straight up, cooking is all the way therapeutic for me. So what I ended up doing, I had this hashtag that I've been using for like almost maybe close to 9 years. Hashtag cooking with Am.
Oh, word.
And so I've been using that for a minute. And I remember maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, people were like, when are you gonna do a cookbook? Like, you just putting up all these photos on Instagram, like, you crazy, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm a DJ. I just like to show the things that I'm cooking. So eventually I ended up starting the Instagram for Cooking with Ambush. And
hold up,
I started putting my recipes.
I'm pulling it up right now. Cooking with Ambush.
I started that a couple months ago. And I've been recording a lot of content that just needs to be edited to be pushed out. Word. But it's just, ultimately, it's about finding other creative outlets, like tap back into the other things, even if you stay within the DJ mindset, right? So now there are records, there are songs as DJs. There's music that we listen to. There's music that we spin for gigs.
Right.
You now have the opportunity to do deep dives on artists that you didn't have time to listen to before. Like, I used Yin Yang Twins as a prime example a lot, just talking about the transition between some of the disposable music. Again, not taking a shot at Yin Yang Twins, but TVT, and also Fat Joe's label. What was Fat Joe's label? Terror Squad.
Yeah.
They were putting out vinyl at such a ridiculous pace. Murder Inc. was doing it too. They were putting out singles for everything. If they thought it was going to be a hit, maybe possibly going to be a hit, they were pressing vinyl up.
Okay.
We had so many records that were in crates that would last us maybe a week or two. And that's it. I don't need this record for anything ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that we're not in that place where we're competing with each other in the clubs, and we're competing with our audience's cell phones and their playlists that they're listening to, we're literally just in the house. We can spend intimate time with music. That's what people need to be doing. Like that's what you do. Like the artist of the artist of the artist of the friend of the artist that you had an interest in, go listen to their discography.
Yeah.
Go listen to some samples. Start doing some digging on YouTube. Yeah. Like that stuff, and just let the music play and just let it take you to different places. And then you'll see what comes out of that. But I think, in some ways, solitude is great. It puts us in these little boxes where we don't have a lot of distractions.
It definitely changes things. It definitely changes. And that's one of the things, the conversation I have often with my wife is I do miss literally laying on the floor, either with headphones on or just in front of the speaker and just listening to music, like really listening to music. It's funny because when my wife and I got together, we would be in the car and listening to a song, and I would keep hitting repeat, and I would keep taking about, like, do you hear what they did right there? Like, do you hear that harmony right? She'd be like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? But that idea of doing that deep dive, and there's so much in this music that does get passed over. And I understand what you're saying, and it's not, I agree, it's not a diss on anybody, but a lot of the music that is made right now is disposable, because I think that there is a machine now, and the machine tells you have to continually put out content, otherwise people are not going to pay attention. And so people are getting in the studio and they're just, okay, I'm gonna make a song. I just made this song in 2 hours. It's done. Like, send it, mix it, master it. It's done. It's like, really?
I'm gonna jump on that point again. I want y'all to understand, this musical isn't disposable by Klyph and I's determination. It's disposable by design.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
Right.
This music is disposable by design. These companies are putting out music that they know doesn't have longevity on it, primarily because it sounds so similar to the single that preceded it and the one that's going to come after it. Yep. So they're just trying to carry a sound for a minute. They know this song is not going to last. It's going to hit the charts long enough for them to get another one to hit the charts again, something else from that label, from a different artist. So we're talking about disposable music that's made to be disposable. Yeah, like, exactly. I was just saying we don't like it, so it's disposable. That's not what I'm saying.
And it's sad, man, because then you have these creatives who are forced to be in a particular space and not really be as creative as they were when they started this art form, when they first had that love for music. And so that's one of the dope things about what we do, I think, as radio curators, is that we get an opportunity to find those pieces that you're not going to hear on the commercial, that you're not going to hear, and it's just as valuable to that artist. So I feel good about that. Last thing, bro, like, so we got to get everybody over to the Cooking with Ambush Instagram situation.
Yes, get over there
and get ready for the cookbook. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And so, look, it's funny. This is one of the other things I love about the podcast. So, like, when we're on radio, we're non-commercial radio, so I can't tell people look, this is my podcast. Go buy this man's stuff as soon as it drops. Spend your money. You know what I mean? Break the piggy bank. Other than that, bro, what are other ways that aside from the numbers, like DJ Ambush, what are other ways people can get at you, support your movement, just be up on the things that you're doing as a creative?
So podcasts, I have to do some updating to my website, but DJAmbush.net is pretty much headquarters for everything.
Word.
I'm very active on Instagram, warming up on Twitter, active on Facebook. So you can follow me on Instagram at SKAMBEEZY, Scambeezy on Instagram. But you can find links to everything at DJAmbush.net. I don't know, Klyph, were you working with bands in town at all using that app?
Yes, especially when I was doing Mic Check. Yep.
Yeah, Bands in Town has been amazing. So I have to update that with some of the radio shows that I have going on. That's a good way also, if you don't have a Bands in Town, if you don't use it as a artist, I definitely recommend using it as an artist. I can't tell you how many times I've been in other cities, or Ben specifically, and had someone come up to the DJ booth and was like, I found you on Bands in Town.
Word.
So I'm here now at Dogwood Cocktail Cabin to hear you spin because I checked you out on Bands in Town.
Okay. I need to use it better than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's dope. Like, and even with the radio show, like, it's good that you put that on there because then people get notifications and reminders that your show's about to come on, and then they tune in.
Well, no, I was using it for mic check, but since COVID, and we haven't had mic check, I haven't been using it. I've never used it for the radio show.
Use it for the radio show. I had a brother sitting at the bar. I was in Alto Lounge. He knew me from Bands in Town as well, but he was actually there to see someone else that night. And he was like, "Oh yeah, Ambush. Yeah, I got you. I got notifications for you from when your show drops."
Crazy.
So putting your radio show on there, like it's an event, people who follow you will get notifications and reminders to go tune into your show.
That's what's up. Okay. We'll be doing that today.
Time is that work. But that being said, I need to update the website. But just being able to keep in touch with me and keep in contact, everything I have going on, DJAmbush.net's the best place to go. That's
what's up, man. Yeah. And then you still doing East Coast Standard Time?
Yes, I am still doing Eastern Standard Time. Friday nights at 10 p.m. on X-Ray. It's one of my favorite shows. It used to be my favorite show to do.
Yeah.
But now I have a show. I started out, my first show here was on KBOO, Culture Light Beams. 2-hour show every second Sunday of the month from 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Did that for a couple of years. I have now brought on my one of my daughters, DJ Tempo.
Nice.
So now we DJ that show together.
Nice.
She does an hour, I do an hour. So, Culture Light Beams. That's I'm gonna say that's my favorite show now. Like being able to have a show with my seed.
Of course.
And have her come on, like that's amazing.
Word. Yeah. And then you're podcasting.
Yes, so definitely podcasting. A podcast has no name. Started out as a Game of Thrones centered podcast, and then we delved into more sci-fi and MCU stuff, and just Black content in general. So we definitely have that podcast going on. I am. We have the 23 podcasts that I have with my son. Some of those archives, some of those episodes are still up. You can find it on anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can definitely find that there. I'm also part of the Music Policy Council. I'm the chair of Portland's Music Policy Council, working with Music Portland. If you are a local artist, I do suggest you head over to Music Portland. Please make sure you fill out a profile, get that done. It's very, very important. This organization is doing some very, very serious work on behalf of artists, especially now with regards to COVID relief and making sure that, artists be able to get some type of money coming in. But I'm trying to think. I think that is everything. It's hard, man.
Bro, tell me about it, man. I know exactly what. Just trying to keep it all. I got to write it all down, bro. And then go back and look at. Okay, yes, I am actually still doing that. I'm scheduled. I got to get that done.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel you, bro.
But yeah, you definitely want to. If you definitely want to just see me nerd out, geek out on comics and superheroes and all of that, definitely check out a podcast that has no name.
Yeah, I just subscribe to that, man.
That's where I'm doing. That's where I'm doing that type of work.
Okay.
Doing some reviews on movies and things like that. And then the Culture Light Beams Instagram is it needs to be updated. However, that's a creative outlet for me. All the art on Culture Light Beams Instagram, I designed.
Oh, word.
Yeah, and it's like a full mural that connects from the very first post all the way to the last one. And within that entire spread, you'll see the different people that I've interviewed for my show on KBOO. So it's a lot of different influences there. You'll see the different musicians I've interviewed, some of the comics I was reading at the time, some of the music I was listening at the time. All of it's tied into that artwork. So that was me experimenting through the different phases as I was learning to deal with mixed media and creating that type of art. But that's something once I get some time, I want to delve back into that to start doing that again. But yeah, that was, man.
What's it called?
Culture Light Beams.
Okay.
On Instagram.
Okay. I'm gonna subscribe to that too. Man, you do got, I thought I had a lot of stuff going, bro.
It's a bunch.
No doubt.
It's a bunch, man.
Well, look, bro, it's as I said, it's definitely been a long time coming, and it's so cool to connect and just hear more of your story and have a, hopefully people now have an understanding of one of the reasons that you've been able to do so much so quickly with the work that you've done with the Numberz, because when we look at your background and your life experience, you bring so much to the table, such a great perspective in terms of what this thing can be, but then what we can be as a community. So, the Numberz is definitely blessed to have you in this position, B.
Man, I'm blessed to have the opportunity. Like, seriously, there's no limit to what we can get done.
Word.
Absolutely none. You know what I'm saying? The only thing stopping us is us.
There's
always going to be roadblocks. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be barriers. It's a thing. You work your way around it. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't lose focus.
100%.
But take those pauses when you need to. Take those breaks.
Gotta have that life balance. Definitely gotta have that life balance.
My
dude, man, thank you so much for doing this, bro. This was fun, man. It really, really was, dude. DJ Ambush. Check him out everywhere because he's doing everything pretty much.
You'll find me. You'll bump into me.
100%. Once again, man, check out the Klyph Notes podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and you can check us out at klyphnotes.com. If you have comments or questions, you can hit me at the email klyphnotes@gmail.com. Be sure to support our supporters. Big ups to Akepele Apparel for their continued support of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check them out. They're just about to drop a new line of merch for the winter, AKEPELE.com. If you want to support what we do, man, you can check out the DJ Klyph Patreon, patreon.com/DJ Klyph, DJ KLYPH. And man, last but never ever least, man, big ups to the homie who created the official theme song for the Klyph Notes podcast, Theory Hazit. All right, y'all. Until we have an opportunity to do this again, y'all be blessed. Peace.
Peace.